Hey everyone, welcome back to StorySoul Secrets. A massive thank you for your incredible support. Your likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions keep our tales alive and thriving. You're the heartbeat of this channel, and we're so grateful to have you here. Get ready to be swept away, because today we're diving into an electrifying, heart-wrenching, and inspiring story. She was stranded in a downpour at midnight, until a wealthy stranger offered shelter and a secret. This epic journey will grip your soul with raw emotion, edge-of-your-seat suspense, and a secret that unfolds like a treasure map. You'll feel the chill of the storm, the warmth of unexpected kindness, and the thrill of revelations that could change a life forever. By the end, you'll be buzzing with excitement and hope, ready to share this adventure with everyone you know. Let's dive into the storm. The night was a ferocious beast, its claws ripping at the world with a vengeance that felt alive. Midnight had slipped away like a whisper, leaving only a torrential downpour hell-bent on drowning everything in its path. Lightning slashed the sky, illuminating a forsaken highway where Lila Bennett, 28, sat frozen in her battered hatchback, her heart pounding louder than the thunder. The engine had died an hour ago, stranding her in a desolate stretch of nowhere, surrounded by wind-whipped fields and gnarled trees looming like ghosts. Her hands gripped the steering wheel, fingers numb, as the storm battered her car with relentless fury. Each thunderclap jolted her nerves, each gust rocking the vehicle like a boat in a hurricane. Her phone, drained from a grueling 3-hour drive to a life-changing job interview, lay useless in her lap. Soaked from a futile attempt to check the engine, Lila's clothes clung like ice, and her hope was slipping, each raindrop a jab at her fading courage. Lila was no stranger to struggle. Born in a small town where dreams often wilted under the weight of bills and chores, she'd clawed her way to the city, carving a modest life as a librarian while secretly pouring her soul into art. Her sketchbooks, now damp in the passenger seat, brimmed with vibrant landscapes and soulful portraits. Her escape from years of caring for her mother, Elena, whose cancer had drained their savings and Lila's spirit. That night, Lila had driven through the dusk for a curator position at the prestigious Eldridge Museum, a beacon of hope to blend her passion with stability. She'd spent weeks preparing, sketching imaginary exhibits of forgotten artists, dreaming of a life where she could breathe freely, where her art could shine. But the storm didn't care. It roared, blurring the world into a chaos of shadows, the wind screaming her fears back at her. Locked in her car, breath fogging the glass, she whispered a prayer for a miracle, though hope flickered like a candle in a gale. Through the watery haze, headlights pierced the darkness, a lifeline in the void. A sleek black Bentley glided to a stop, its chrome glinting defiantly against the storm's wrath. The window slid down, revealing a man in his late 50s, silver hair neat despite the chaos, his tailored coat untouched by the rain. His face was weathered but kind, his deep blue eyes heavy with sorrow that echoed the night. "You can't stay out here," he called, his voice steady, cutting through the storm's din like a beacon. "It's dangerous. My estate's a mile away. Let me get you dry and safe." Lila's heart raced. Every true crime story screamed warnings about strangers. But the cold was a cruel vice, her clothes frozen to her skin, and his gaze held a quiet sincerity, like a lighthouse in fog. "I'm Victor Langley," he added, sensing her fear. "No harm intended. Just want to help." Swallowing her doubts, Lila grabbed her soggy bag and dashed to his car, the heated leather seats wrapping her in warmth like a promise kept. The drive was short, heavy with silence, broken only by the wiper's rhythmic swipe. Victor glanced at her, his expression soft but guarded. "Rough night, huh?" Lila nodded, teeth chattering. "I'm Lila. Car died after a job interview. Museum curator. It's my big chance." "Art," Victor said, a spark of intrigue in his tone. "That's not just a job, it's who you are." He fell silent as they approached towering wrought iron gates that creaked open, revealing a winding driveway flanked by ancient oaks, their branches thrashing like tormented spirits. The mansion loomed ahead, a gothic masterpiece of stone spires, arched windows glowing like embers in a storm. It was grand yet eerie, a fortress holding secrets as old as the rain itself. Inside, the foyer was a vision of splendor. Marble floors gleamed under a crystal chandelier, its light dancing like stars. Walls were lined with paintings that made Lila's heart skip. Were they real Monets? Renoirs? Copies, maybe, but so vivid they seemed to breathe. Mrs. Hargrove, a wiry housekeeper with a warm smile and graying bun, bustled in with plush towels and a tray of steaming chamomile tea. Its scent calming Lila's nerves. "Mr. Langley, you're soaked. And who's this poor soul?" "A guest who needs shelter," Victor said, his tone gentle but firm. "Prepare the East Wing room, Hargrove." Lila warmed by a roaring fireplace in the living room, its flames casting flickering shadows across walls adorned with art that whispered stories. The heat thawed her body, but a nervous buzz lingered. Victor's kindness felt almost too perfect, the mansion too grand. He joined her, coat off, holding a mug of tea. "Feeling better?" "A bit," Lila said, forcing a smile. "This place is like a dream." Victor chuckled, but his blue eyes were distant, clouded with memory. "It's home. Old family place. Too big for just me. Too many ghosts." The storm raged outside, thunder shaking the windows like a giant's fist. They talked, and Lila, warmed by the tea and his quiet questions, opened up. Her mom's illness, her hidden sketches, the interview that could free her from years of struggle. Victor listened intently, his gaze sharp, as if her words struck a buried chord. "You're strong," he said softly. "You remind me of someone I lost." "Who?" Lila asked, catching a crack in his calm. He stared into the fire, its glow dancing in his eyes. "My daughter Clara. She loved art like you. Died 10 years ago in a storm like this. Car crash." His voice broke, raw with grief. Lila's chest tightened. "I'm so sorry." Victor brushed it off, but his jaw was tight. "She was my everything. So talented, so stubborn. Wanted to start a gallery for artists nobody noticed. Not like my world. Langley Industries. Tech, money, power. She hated it all." The storm's fury echoed his pain, lightning flashing like it wanted to tear the house apart. Lila felt drawn in, needing to know more. "Why tell me?" Victor stood, his movements slow, deliberate. "Because tonight feels meant to be." He waved her to follow, leading her up a grand staircase lined with portraits of stern ancestors, their eyes watching like judges. At the end of a shadowy hallway, he pulled out a key, his hand trembling. "Nobody's been here since her." The door creaked open to a hidden gallery, a shrine to Clara's art. Paintings covered the walls, wild oceans, faces full of feeling, each stroke a cry from the heart. One stood out, a woman standing bold in a rainstorm, her face glowing with courage, painted so vividly Lila felt the rain on her skin. It was so like her own sketches, tucked in her wet bag. It sent chills through her. "This is amazing," she whispered, touching the frame. "Clara's work," Victor said, his voice heavy. "She had a secret. A fund for her gallery locked away. I couldn't face it after she died. Until now." Lila's heart raced, excitement mixing with nerves. "Why me? You're like her, full of heart, full of fight. This storm, it's like she's here pushing me." He opened a hidden drawer, pulling out Clara's journal, old sketches, and letters worn at the edges. She left a game, a puzzle with clues to a treasure, her art, her dream to start the gallery. Lila's eyes widened. A treasure hunt in this huge, spooky mansion? What kind of game? Victor's face lit up, sad but eager. Clara loved riddles. She had clues all over, knowing I'd need someone to find them with me. I was too broken to try. Until you. The storm grew wilder, lights flickering as thunder boomed like a warning. They started with the journal's first clue, a poem in Clara's neat handwriting. Find wisdom's spine where knowledge sleeps. Lila's librarian skills kicked in, leading them to the library, where shelves stretched to the ceiling, filled with dusty books. Her fingers raced over the spines, heart pounding, until she found a fake book, a hollow one hiding a small painting of a stormy shore, a new riddle scratched on the back. Seek the heart where shadows dance by the fire. They rushed back to the living room, the fireplace's glow throwing eerie shapes on the walls. Lila's hands shook as she felt the stones, finding a loose one. Inside was a locket with a tiny drawing of a starry sky and another clue, under the stars, where dreams soar. The mansion became a maze of secrets, each step more thrilling. A hidden door behind a tapestry led to a dusty study, where a locked box held a letter from Clara to her love, Julian, a painter in his 30s with dark hair and a rugged face, whose dreams she'd shared. Her words spoke of a family curse, not ghosts, but the loneliness of wealth, pushing her to art as rebellion. The hunt grew scarier as the storm shook the house, lights going dark for heart-stopping seconds. A creaky floorboard hid a secret staircase to an attic, dust swirling like ghosts in their flashlight beams. But the attic held a twist, a locked door, not a vault, with a riddle carved into the wood, where music weeps find the key. Victor's face paled. He knew this led to Clara's old music room, a place he'd avoided since her death. They ventured to a forgotten wing, where a dusty piano stood in a room draped with cobwebs. Lila's fingers brushed the keys, and a haunting note echoed, sending shivers down her spine. Under the piano bench, they found a small box with a key and a note. The heart of my art lies where storms end. The key unlocked a hidden panel in the wall, revealing a sketch of a lighthouse in a storm, its light piercing the dark, and another clue pointing to the mansion's greenhouse. The greenhouse was a glass sanctuary, rain drumming on the panes like a heartbeat. Beneath a rose bush, they dug up a metal box holding Clara's final sketchbook, its pages telling her story. Her fights with her dad, her love for Julian, her dream to give artists a voice. Each drawing was a clue, leading to a hidden compartment in the greenhouse floor. Inside was a small sculpture, a hand holding a paintbrush carved with for the voiceless. Lila's breath caught. This was Clara's soul, a call to lift up those ignored. But the hunt wasn't over. The sketchbook hinted at a clue in the mansion's old ballroom, where Clara once danced with Julian under chandeliers. The storm's roar followed them as they entered, the room's faded grandeur eerie in the flickering light. A loose floorboard beneath a cracked mirror revealed a hidden diary, its pages filled with Clara's fears. She'd uncovered a family secret, a ledger of shady deals tied to Langley Industries, funds she'd redirected to her gallery dream. The diary pointed to a concealed safe behind a faded mural of a stormy sea. Lila's hands trembled as they cracked it open, finding a stack of letters from Clara's artist friends, each a plea to keep her vision alive, and a map to a hidden room in the mansion's West Tower. The West Tower was a perilous climb, its spiral staircase creaking underfoot, wind howling through broken windows like a warning. At the top, a locked chest waited, its key hidden in Clara's locket. Inside were blueprints for the gallery, plans for workshops, outreach to underserved towns, and a list of artists Clara had mentored, their names scrawled with hope. But there was more, a cassette with Clara's voice, soft yet fierce. Father, if you find this, don't let my dream die. The money's clean now, I made sure. Use it to lift others. Lila's heart raced. Clara had outsmarted her family's legacy, turning tainted wealth into a force for good. The storm's fury peaked, lights flickering as if the house itself was alive. A new clue emerged from the cassette case, pointing to a forgotten chapel in the mansion's east wing. They navigated crumbling corridors, the air thick with dust and the scent of old wax. Inside the chapel, a stained glass window depicted a stormy sky, its colors glowing faintly in the lightning's flash. Beneath the altar, a hidden compartment held a locked box with a riddle. Where faith meets art, find my heart. Lila's fingers traced the box's edges, finding a small key hidden in a hymn book spine. Inside was a letter from Clara to her mother, Victor's late wife, confessing her fear of failing her dream and her hope to redeem the family's name through art. The letter included a sketch of a tree, its roots deep, pointing to a final clue in the mansion's overgrown garden. The garden was a tangled wilderness, rain-slicked and wild. Under an ancient oak, they found a buried tin containing a locket with a photo of Clara and Julian, their faces young and hopeful, and a note. My heart grows where love takes root. The note led to a hidden cellar beneath the mansion's kitchen, a damp, shadowy space where crates held forgotten relics. There, a locked trunk revealed Clara's childhood sketchbook, filled with drawings of her family, her dreams, and a map to a secret safe in the library. Back in the library, behind a shelf of rare books, they found the safe, its combination etched in Clara's handwriting. The date of her first painting, a memory Victor tearfully recalled. Inside were legal documents proving Clara had funneled Langley Industries' profits into a trust for the gallery, cleansing the family's legacy. The storm's final clue led to the basement, a cold, shadowy maze of crates and relics. Behind a rusted boiler, they found a hidden vault, its combination the years since Clara's death, 10. The vault creaked open, revealing Clara's masterpiece series, Storms of the Soul. 5 massive paintings of people fighting through tempests, their faces alive with hope. Alongside them were rare jewels and artifacts worth millions. But the true treasure was Clara's letter, tucked among the canvases. Father, if you're reading this, you're not alone. Money's a curse if you keep it locked up. Share it with someone who sees like I did. Build the gallery. Heal. Victor's tears fell, his hand clutching the letter like a lifeline. Lila's eyes stung too, not for the rain outside, but for the storm they'd face together. In the basement's dim light, emotions poured out. Victor confessed his guilt, pushing Clara into his corporate world, ignoring her dreams, blaming himself for her death. Lila shared her fears, failing her mom, losing her art to life's grind, never being enough. The storm had united them, 2 broken souls finding purpose. She wanted this, Lila whispered, for you to live again, for her art to lift others. Victor nodded, his face lighter. Will you help? Run the gallery. Make her dream real. Lila's heart soared, excitement washing away fear. Yes, for Clara, for every artist like her. The night held more surprises. Clara's diary mentioned a hidden contact, Marissa, her mentor, who'd helped plan the gallery. They found a letter in the attic with Marissa's address, tucked inside a sketch of a sunrise. Driving through the fading storm, they reached a small art studio in a nearby town. Marissa, a woman in her 60s with silver-streaked hair and warm eyes, welcomed them with tears. She'd been Clara's confidant, holding a list of young artists Clara had scouted, hidden in a locket. But Marissa revealed another secret. Clara had left a coded message in her sketchbook, pointing to a final cache in the mansion's observatory. The observatory was a dome tower, its telescope rusted but pointing to the stars. Rain pattered on the glass roof as they found a hidden panel beneath the telescope, revealing a small box with a star-shaped pendant and a note. My light shines where dreams align. The pendant's engraving led to a secret drawer in Clara's old bedroom, where they found a journal detailing her outreach plans, visits to rural schools, workshops for foster kids, scholarships for the overlooked. The journal also held a letter to Victor, begging him to forgive himself and live for her dream. The discoveries didn't end. Clara's letters mentioned a forgotten friend, Elena, not Lila's mother, but a childhood friend who'd inspired Clara's art. Tracking her down, they found Elena in a coastal village, running a small art school. She shared stories of Clara's teenage years, painting under starlight, and handed them a canvas Clara had left behind, a stormy sky with a single star, symbolizing hope. The canvas hid a final clue, coordinates to a storage unit in the city. There, they found Clara's early works, paintings she'd created with Julian and Elena, each one a testament to her belief in art's power to heal. Dawn broke, the storm fading to a soft drizzle. Sunlight painted the mansion gold, chasing away the shadows. Victor arranged for Lila's car to be towed, but more crucially, he handed her a contract for Clara's Light Gallery, a place to lift up artists from tough places. They sat in the greenhouse, planning workshops for kids, outreach to poor towns, shows for new voices. Lila's sketches, saved from her bag, would star in the first exhibit, a nod to her own path. The journey continued beyond that night. Clara's letters revealed a final gift, a hidden fund for scholarships to send young artists to school. Lila and Victor tracked down Julian, Clara's lost love, now a struggling painter with dark hair and a rugged face in a nearby city. They invited him to join the gallery, his work hanging beside Clara's in the opening show. His tears, seeing her art alive, sealed their bond, a family forged in loss and hope. They also found Aisha, a young artist with colorful braids, one of Clara's men's, whose vibrant murals now adorned the gallery's walls, her story echoing Lila's own. Marissa joined as a mentor, and Elena contributed Clara's early paintings, completing the gallery's vision. Years later, Clara's light shines as a global beacon. Lila, now a celebrated curator with dark hair and confident brown eyes, unveils her own series, a storm painting with a figure stepping into light, born from that wild night. Victor, his silver hair gleaming and blue eyes warm, teaches young artists, his laughter echoing through the gallery. Julian's paintings draw crowds, his rugged face softened by pride. Aisha's murals inspire a new generation, her colorful braids a symbol of her vibrant spirit. Marissa and Elena guide workshops, their wisdom grounding the gallery's mission. The space hums with voices from every corner, kids from rough neighborhoods, immigrants, dreamers, each canvas a victory. Lila never forgets that midnight downpour, not a curse, but a spark, turning despair into a legacy of hope. This story is a guide to life's big truths. First, it shows that being open, even when you're scared, can build unbreakable bonds. Lila and Victor's honesty turned a dark night into a shared dream. Second, it teaches that pain, like Victor's loss, can become something beautiful when you honor the dreams of those you've lost. Third, it proves kindness from strangers can open new paths, so trust wisely, but stay open to hope. Fourth, it reveals that secrets, like Clara's puzzle, can lead to redemption, turning past mistakes into future good. Finally, it says storms, real or in your heart, test your strength, but guide you to brighter days, showing you're tougher than you know. That's our story, StorySoul Secrets fans. An epic of suspense, heart, and victory that proves storms can lead to light. What hit you hardest? Would you have trusted Victor or stayed in the car? How would you keep Clara's dream alive? Drop your answers in the chat box. We're dying to read them. If this story set your heart racing, hit that like button. Share it with everyone who loves a thrilling tale, and please, Subscribe to StorySoul Secrets for more epic adventures. Your support means more than ever, keeping our stories alive. See you in the next one. Stay bold, stay inspired.